What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button right there. As y'all know, it's free, and that enables us to keep coming to you guys as often as possible with as many interviews as possible. So please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share it, promote it, each one, teach one. We appreciate your guys' support. Now, today, this is a little personal for me. We taking it back to the house for me, man. You know, for people that watch Unique Access, I'm from Maryland. I love go-go. And today, I have the honor and the privilege of being joined by the two Crank Radio hosts. We got Rico Anderson and Shorty Corleone. Thank you guys for coming through.
Thanks for having us, Soren. We appreciate that.
What's up, Soren? Yes, sir.
Yes. So these two gentlemen are helping spread, promote, and keep go-go alive. They're, been involved with the music for a long time. Shorty Corleone, Rare Essence alumni, and Rico have been doing production, and they have a brand new show, Crank Radio. It's on Saturdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern, and you guys can catch it Howard University's HUR Voices on Sirius XM channel 141. And if you miss it on Saturday night, it re-airs on Sunday. So be sure to check that out, 9 to 10 p.m. East Coast time, and you guys got to listen to it. So first of all, congratulations on Crank Radio. I've been fortunate to be able to listen to the first several episodes. So for you guys, what made Crank Radio something that you guys felt like now was the time to do?
Wow. Well, it's just the temperature of Washington, D.C. and music as a whole. There is so many more arms of the music that has to be shared. And we have these backstories of these incredible footprints of these different bands and what supported their success. And we're just very grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah, I think the momentum was just kind of moving in that direction. When, not to say that it started with the Don't Mute DC campaign, but that was a big igniting, factor. And then from that, there's been like a whole, not just what we're doing, but a bunch of other people in the go-go community and just throughout Washington, D.C. and just things for go-go music, have kind of prospered since then. So this is just, one of the things that has, become of that.
Yeah, we're just catching a wave of the energy in the streets, honestly.
Yeah, well, one of the great things that I saw, of course, was last year, February 2020, when Mayor Bowser had made it the official music of the city and signed that into law. So, Rico, for you, what did that mean to see that the mayor acknowledged go-go in such an official capacity?
Well, it was definitely, it made me feel proud, as a Washingtonian, because the music that the people, that come from the city, that, that put their blood, sweat, and tears, and not even just the musicians. It's people that have, participated in the whole go-go industry, throughout the years. So it was, I felt that, it was finally, an official stamp that was, laid down and that, can't be revoked, So that, no matter how the demographic of the city may change or anything else, nobody can take away from it that, go-go, go-go is the official music of DC, and the culture of DC.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's just exciting because we saw, TV One also had their documentary on go-go, and you guys have Crank the series as well on the video side of things. So Shorty Corleone, for you, there's the music, but then also the significance of getting it documented on video and movies, documentaries, these type of things. So for you, Shorty Corleone, what made you want to also take that step to move into the visual side of things?
Well, just being a fan of the music, being a fan of different bands, watching all the bands as a youngster, and having the opportunity to get these backstories. And I felt that it was as compelling as these amazing hip hop stories. Go-Go has their own docu-series, and a lot of the acts have been together from their heydays as teenagers, and a lot of these same historical acts are still performing and doing their reunion shows, etc. So I just felt like that would be an awesome, thing for us, is to document and get these shows lined up, but not just as a documentary, but we were telling the story as an actual series. So we've been honored to interview different bands from Junkyard to Rare Essence, individual hip hop acts, and you name it. So believe it or not, Soren, we have 100 episodes of this Crank series, man, and we can't wait for the world to see, what's going on.
And where can people watch it?
Well, right now we have a one presentation show, which is the birth of hip hop and go-go. You can go to crankdc.com and check that out. And we're in talks with several different outlets right now for the exclusivity of the series. So it should be coming soon.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, because as you guys did, especially on episode 2 of Crank Radio, and Rico, maybe you could break this down, was the hip hop and go-go connection, because with Onyx, with the leading into Rare Essence's Heads Up, and then you also had Jay-Z leaning into Rare Essence Overnight Scenario. Why on Crank Radio was it important for you guys to highlight these parallels that we have between rap and go-go?
Well, I think for me, I guess like with growing up with being influenced by both genres of music, I have a equal respect in a way. But let's say people outside of Washington, D.C., or let's say the DMV area, or the people that necessarily didn't grow up with the culture, they may not view it from the same perspective, or they may not, appreciate it from an equal perspective. And what I wanted to do with that mix was just show that both of these cultures kicked off around the same time, and both of them have a lot of similarities, and they've both been a part of helping each other, come up, along the way. And they've borrowed from one another, go-go's borrowed from hip-hop, hip-hop is borrowed from go-go. And although hip-hop became the thing that was the worldwide phenomenon, there's still that relationship that's there that I feel that, other people should know about, you know what I mean? Just to understand and to also appreciate some of the things that go-go has offered, by way of hip hop. They may have gotten it through a hip hop record, but it actually, came from go-go and go-go culture. So, in a way it could redirect them to where the original source of some of the, things that they have liked and enjoyed come from.
Yeah. And the world don't know that hip hop and go-go was collaborating way before it was like mainstream music for hip hop.
Right.
A lot of the hip hop acts would come to DC and rock and do studio performances. And of course, there's a trillion stories about the Capitol Center and Trouble Funk, rocking with Curtis Blow, and Curtis Blow rocking with EU, and the whole call and response component, and Run from Run-DMC having conversations with Dougie Fresh, like, you got to watch this and check this out. So both art forms had their own way of displaying the energy from the stage to the audience with a call and response. It's different, but it's similar, and those things are able to be received and seen from the Crank series. And we're taking some of that energy, of course, with the Crank Radio show, and supporting both platforms. As well as, Chris Blackwell participated in both platforms. Well, 3 different genres, which is reggae, hip hop, and go-go. And he, pretty much had the same support for go-go with Max Kidd that he had with Russell Simmons with Island Records. So there's so many different similarities. And both of these platforms is an education offering to the world. There's a lot of people don't know that the biggest records in hip hop, go-go had a footprint in that DNA of those records.
Yeah, and there's so many examples, but people also should remember, or if they don't know, Just like Junkyard Band was on Def Jam with Sardines, and Nelly sampled Chuck Brown on Hot in Here, and. There's so many examples. Dougie Fresh with I'm Getting Ready, which is probably my favorite rap song. That's a go-go song. There's so many examples of it, but the beauty of it is that we just saw recently with Snoop Dogg with the Hit the Floor with Rare Essence, that show that this isn't something that is past. This is something that's still active. So for you guys, when you see someone like Snoop Dogg, that's one of the biggest icons in entertainment, forget music, forget rap, he's just transcended all of that. To see someone like that recently go back and do a song with Rare Essence, what does that mean to you guys?
Man, I just got so much respect for Snoop. Like when he came to do the video, I think he was on tour. He had just finished the show. I think he had probably got a couple hours of sleep or something. And man, you wouldn't even know that he just left one city doing a performance and traveled and getting ready for another performance. Man, he walked on set. His energy was here. You know what I'm saying? And he killed it. Like, he's a true professional and passionate about his art. You know what I mean? So it was an honor, to be on the video platform and stage, with them, and what he offered energy-wise to the video was it was incredible. And still had a show that night and had another show the next night that he had to go and travel and do that. So salute to Snoop Dogg. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Snoop's phenomenal, and as you guys tell, he loves music, and surprisingly, he always surprises me when he'll ask me about something, or we'll talk about some seemingly obscure music, but he loves it too. And that's one of the things that makes Snoop so great. And that was with Crank Radio, something that I thought was great, because you also had like Scarface on that episode with Go-Go Artists. So for you guys, what is it when you see the dudes from out of town, Scarface from Houston, Snoop Dogg from Long Beach, Jill Scott, of course, did it, being from Philly. When you see the other artists from different regions, different areas come into DC and want to participate and be part of it, what do they tell you about it that connects with them?
I mean, I would think that, I guess my reasoning for putting it out there is, it's not too many bands from too many other places that all of these major artists collaborate with. So it must be something special about these bands in DC, the sound that they have, the type of crowd, and the way that the parties go, and this is that and the other, that other people in the world should be checking out. You know what I mean? Because if your favorite artist, and I mean, we talking about historically, year after year after year, decade after decade, and they always seem to collaborate with these particular bands, or, from this particular place. What is that? I mean, what's going on with that? That's why I put that out there, just so people realize that, you should check this out, because the people that you really, really like and that you really, really tap into,
they already hip.
This is what they tap into.
Yeah, they hip when you come to DC. You gotta get some go-go in your life. Yeah. And if you strike up the right conversation and you get to, jam with the bands, that that's an experience that they're able to go back and share with, their individual city or their community. And it's been tried and proven time and time again. But that Scarface joint with the Northeast Groovers, man, that's heavy. He does a lot of stuff with Backyard, of course, but that joint with Northeast, that was historic, Mm-hmm. So and there's many stories like that, but the world don't know that these artists, have these relationships with the bands here in Washington, D.C. And like Rico was mentioning, I think we may be the only, or one of the only cities in the United States that has its own little swag or sound that we can take someone's record and give it a lift and give it, a little more energy than their regular version. And honestly, when you're done, you got a whole nother record. You know what I'm saying? Same title, but now I gotta look, a go-go swing to it.
Well, speaking of that, on one of my trips home, Got my shirt here with back.
Hey, that's hot. That's hot right there. Back groovers, S's, and jump.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
And the jump.
And you know, I've never seen that shirt, man. Where did you get that?
Man, I got this one on Amazon because I was trying to find some go-go shirts, and I had found the Mute DC, so I got that. So I picked up a few. And when I knew I'd be talking to you guys and discussing Crank Radio, I wanted to do something that represented many, many bands instead of just
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I had to pull
that. And sorry, like, you know, but the world don't know. Like, each of those acts right there got a lead talker or had lead talkers, and every lead talker that represents that band, man, they take the whole genre, you know what I'm saying, on a music excursion, I'm gonna call it. You know what I'm saying? And it's an experience. Like, they thought the music was dead, but the music is alive and kicking.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It would be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.